Hey, what's going on everyone? Justin here, and in this video I want to share with you my potential titles that I'll be reading next month for March of the Mammoths. For those who don't know what that is, March of the Mammoths is a really cool reading event created by Jason over at Old Blues Chapter and Verse. Leave a link to his announcement video down below. It's been going on for several years now, and it's all about using the month of March to read a Mammoth title. And a Mammoth title is any book that is 800 pages or longer. So true door stoppers here with 800 page kind of requirements. But I got two works of fiction-ish. I guess plays are fiction. So I got two fiction works and four non-fiction. So let's just go ahead and get started. So first up is one that I'm cheating with because I've already kind of started it as part of a group read. And it's The Brothers Karamazov by Dostoevsky. And I'm doing this as part of a group read over with Greg at Another Bibliophile Reads and his crew in Discord over there. I've been more or less lurking because I'm pretty new to classics, Russian literature. The only other Russian work I've really read is Master Margarita, which I did enjoy. This one, I don't know. I don't know if I'm missing out. I guess the hype. I guess my expectations for Dostoevsky was like really high, and I guess I haven't been like impressed at all. I feel probably by the end of the month, I'm a little behind. I'll be about halfway through. I'm about, I don't know, probably 30%, right around a third or so right now. To me, everything is just falling, like the characters are just like cardboard cutouts. I don't know. The prose isn't anything like, I mean, I know that depends a lot on the translator and stuff too as well. But I'm not being blown away by really anything kind of going on. It is different from what I was expecting, kind of in a good way, but just overall just very middle of the road. So I'll probably keep going. I feel like sunken cost fallacy here maybe, because I think I'm like 300 pages in. I think it's like 1,000 in this edition, but yeah, I don't know, maybe I just haven't given it enough of a chance. I don't know, maybe I'm just not smart enough to get it. We shall see. So I'll keep puttering through that. Not 100% sure what's going on there. So next up is actually some American history. So Crown was kind enough to send me The Fate of the Day, the War for America from Fort Ticonderoga to Charleston, 77 to 1780. Volume 2 of the Revolution trilogy. He's pretty famous for his Liberation of Europe trilogy from World War II. But I might not get to this one because I just read, since this is volume 2, decided to read The British Are Coming. I picked up a used copy of this, which is the first volume dealing with the first like 2 or 3 years of the war, I think 75 to 77. Whereas this one is covering the next 3 years. This one will be interesting because this is when France kind of starts showing up. Valley Forge is during this time period. I'm really hoping the naval expedition that was sent up the Penobscot River in Maine, since I live in Maine, I hope that's covered in here. It's kind of a disaster for the United States, to be honest, but kind of want to learn more about that and everything. So I did enjoy the first one. I don't read a lot of American history, but his prose and just his storytelling is very, I'd say it's like readable like Larson, but he doesn't use quite as long vignettes as Larson does, if that makes any sense. But it's kind of the same, I guess, kind of readability, if I had to like pick someone, so like kind of good reference and everything. We're gonna see what we're gonna do. I don't know if I can handle 1,600 pages of American history back to back, but we will see. So next up, let's go with the one I probably most recently picked up. Unfortunately, I don't have the dust jacket for it, but it's Charles Taylor's A Secular Age. And I think this came out about 20 years ago or so. But apparently it's a pretty monumental work in philosophy / social sciences and that kind of thing. And it's just a kind of I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's been recommended to me by a couple people. And it's kind of a monumental work dealing with how, especially in the West, the world, kind of the worldview went from essentially having to believe in God. Granted, there's a lot of fighting over what that actually means and the correct belief and that kind of thing. To nowadays, that's just kind of like one of the options you can just choose a la carte in the West, if that makes sense. So it's all about how secularism isn't just kind of like not believing in God or just, you know, a lack of belief in anything or whatever, but it's kind of its own construct in a way, or something like that. And I feel like maybe I'm probably misconstruing that a little bit. I don't know anything else by Charles Taylor, but one thing that really got me was when I was kind of trying to look up a little bit of information about the book before getting it, is that kind of the whole Enlightenment process with kind of advancing with science and reason and that kind of thing. His argument is those might have been like a little factor, but they really weren't like the main players into kind of the drive for secularism and stuff over the last like 200 or 300 years. So I'd be kind of interested to see like what his actual arguments are. Because in a way, just the whole before that part, it just sounds like Max Weber or Max Weber, kind of his whole idea of secularism. Just I'm a little more familiar with that from the late 1800s and stuff. So yeah, like I said, I'm not 100% sure, but I kind of want to know. So that's why we're going with that one as well. So next up is going to be the one I'm probably most leaning towards, so I hope you tell me to read that one down below. But before we do that, I just want to let you guys know the best way to support my channel here. Don't plug my Etsy shop too often, but just figure might as well right now. But I do have an Etsy woodworking shop where I sell different signs. I have all kinds of different stuff. I do custom work as well. I'll leave a link to that down below. But even just liking some items, favoriting stuff like this one's probably gonna be one I'm gonna upload hopefully this upcoming weekend, a new design here. I just really, when I came across that quote, I just really loved it. Just things like that. So if you have anything in mind, just send me a message over there and we can make something happen. So like I said, I try not to promote it too often, but anyways, like I said, any little bit helps there. So let's go ahead and keep going. So this one here, at I think around 850 pages, is Silent Spring Revolution. John F. Kennedy, Rachel Carson, Lyndon Johnson, Richard Nixon, and the Great Environmental Awakening by Douglas Brinkley. It's a long subtitle that I got to like reading it and stuff, but Douglas Brinkley is kind of a historian of the presidential office, but he has a big focus on like land usage and conservation and environmental issues and everything. And this book is dealing with the long 60s, which I believe are like 1960 to 1973 or 74, something like that. And it's all about the three different kind of presidencies during that time period, kind of what they were able to do and accomplish and their thoughts and stances on a whole slew of different environmental issues and that sort of thing. Rachel Carson's Silent Spring, really good work, definitely should read it for sure. It's kind of like the undercurrent through the entire book from what I understand, and kind of how all these different movements, different organizations were really starting to really take off and grow during the 60s, as well as a bunch of different governmental agencies starting to start to come into creation, or how do I want to word that, came into being during that time period and stuff. So yeah, like I said, this is kind of like up my alley. This is like the science one. Like I said, none of my nature works really like are 800 pages or longer or anything like that. But during this time period too, from what I was reading, there was actually some like super pro-environmental like Supreme Court justices. So that was like that. I want to kind of learn more about that, as well as the Secretary of the Interior during Johnson and Kennedy. What was his name? Ewell. I can't remember if it was Stuart Ewell or something like that. And he did like a whole bunch of conservation stuff as well, as far as like, you know, taking care and like protecting like different lands in the United States and everything. So like I said, just want to learn more about it. Sounds really cool. So when I saw I can't remember, oh yeah, this was in a Canadian bookstore, just on a good deal, so I was like, I have to pick that one up for sure. So next up, so Jason said multi-volume works count as 800 pages. This, like, I guess I didn't realize that the last couple times around, but I want to end up reading the complete works of Euripides. The covers are kind of bland, but it is really cool because I have, it also comes with, this set came with Sophocles, and oh geez, why am I Aeschylus? I don't know why I was drawing a blank there. But each of these I think is about 600 pages or so, so definitely at least 800 pages combined and everything. And he's the one I have not read all his plays yet. I'm pretty sure I've read all Sophocles and Aeschylus so far, but I've maybe only read maybe like half-ish. Maybe not even half of Euripides for whatever reason. So I feel like maybe this is the time to do it. I will say probably my favorite Greek play is by Euripides, from what I have read. Alcestis is awesome. Just go read that one. Obviously Medea is pretty famous as well. But there's a few like Rhesus and Ion and the Phoenician Women that, off the top of my head, that I have never read before, but I've seen like a few of them like pop up like in different things when I'm reading about ancient Greece and the classical world and stuff. So I feel like I just want to be more well-rounded and like know all the references and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's a good opportunity to do so. And then the one that I don't know, it's gonna, if I do end up doing it, it's gonna be an absolute disaster. We have Jean-Paul Sartre's Being and Nothingness. So I have some vague, so I do some philosophy stuff. Like I said, I'll leave links to my Discords. I got philosophy one, and a science one, and also check out Historathon as well, which I'm a co-host of. But I have this vague plan to read Heidegger's Being in Time, Sartre's Being in Nothingness, and Peter Sloterdijk's Rage in Time as some sort of ungodly, unholy like triad of just like destroying my brain or something at some point in time. I've never read anything from Being in Nothingness. I have read some of Sartre's stuff from like college and everything, and I want to say I was pretty like middle of the road with him. I didn't really care either way. But obviously this is kind of like the magnum opus of like, existential thought from like, the mid 1900s and stuff. The only thing I really know for certain from this one, because I think it covers a whole variety of topics and ideas and stuff, is how existence precedes essence is kind of like the main thrust here, which is kind of, I guess, like the opposite of a lot of different modes of philosophical thought, where essence is more like, I guess, fundamental to being than existence, whatever that sometimes. But I think in general, what it's kind of, what that, as far as existence preceding essence, what it is existence takes priority because it's our thoughts and actions and behaviors and stuff that create our essence. Whereas, like I said, a lot of other schools of thought, it's kind of like the other way around and stuff. But anyways, I could be completely butchering that because I haven't read anything. I kind of want to start reading existentialist stuff and some absurdist stuff. And I'm like, yeah, might as well just start reading the primary sources again. Some of the bigger ones that I've like avoided forever and ever and ever, because I think this is like 900 pages. I want to say, not quite. 840 something with, oh gosh. Oh man, 811 pages of text. So we'll see about that. This is like my, unless everyone just trolls me, I'm not 100% sure. Probably I'll look at the comments down below, as well as like I'll probably do a poll and stuff. But leave some comments as well if you have any Mammoth books that either you want to read or you have read in the past that are 800 pages or longer. Those are monumental works, so if you got any good ones, just comments down below. Always excited to see what everyone's reading, especially for like giant books such as these. But I hope if you do participate in the March of the Mammoths, I do wish you luck, wish you well with everything with that. And always remember, whether you're reading Mammoth books or not, read victoriously.